I like fighting games, and that may be the reason why I hate them so much. Uh, Now to take into perspective, I'm more of a casual fighter fan, so I'm not online grinding the ladder or something like that. I just take in the story mode, the arcade, and some extra modes, dress them in weird costumes and all that yes. Still having good time. Used to. Maybe I should mention that. Because there's been a lot of things going on in the game industry, and especially in the fighting game industry. So let's start with Street Fighter V, the latest installment in Street Fighter. Maybe my favorite of all time, actually. Because the gameplay and visuals are just fantastic. I give them that. But it all started when I tried to prioritize releasing it in time for the next EVO, before even finishing the story mode, which they actually released later. But that's a warning sign, and it just continued downhill with it being a sort of a hybrid free-to-play title where you can earn in-game currency to unlock everything, and that would mean that a lot of it would be behind locked bars. And indeed, because they released, I believe, 3 season passes, all with characters, so yeah. So if you want to play characters like Yuri, Sagat, or even Blanca, old classic, you have to pay up. But don't worry, you can also unlock it with your fighter coins. Of course, you have to do either a lot of grinding online or to level up, or you can do some quests, which they also nerfed in terms of both income, and also there were some quests that were tied to stages that you can do something weird interaction and get some free coins every week, but they took that out because that would be too easy, I guess. And it's this cynical thing that developers want more for less. It's a more polished surface with not that much content underneath, or that it's coming at a later date. I mean, arcade mode wasn't even a thing in the beginning. I think it came in the arcade edition. That's another thing, with multiple editions of the same game. So they are, instead of mega patching it, they're just releasing whole new games. So you have to sometimes rebuy again, and that's a bummer. And not to mention all the fighters that you have to buy. Old characters that may be in staples for the series are now locked behind the paywall. And Street Fighter is not an exception here. I mean, okay, I mean, sure, you can unlock it with its fake currency, but there's still some sinister about the way. I mean, it's an blatantly bad excuse for them doing so. And then I gotta admit, I bought the first 2 season passes after I knew which characters I was getting, and it was on sale. But I didn't feel any pride and accomplishment from that because I still felt robbed. Why did I pay for this? And did it really matter? Did it add any value? Because it just gives me some new characters that doesn't really change the rest of the game, because it's pretty bare bones. You can play some arcade, you have the story mode and some survival mode, but they are pretty bare bones, and wasn't a priority because they want to force you online, which is not favorable for casual gamers like myself. But let's take another example of how everything's changing in fighting games, and in the Dead or Alive series, specifically Dead or Alive 5, which may be my favorite in the series, but for starters, it's released 3 times. Dead or Alive 5, 5 Ultimate, and 5 Last Round. On top of that, they had 7 season passes. Most of it were just costumes, but there were some extra characters baked in here and there as well. Some bonus characters. But even if the game felt like this could be a real product and it worked like the usual fighting games, that amount of DLC was a bit worrying for the future, and sure enough, it really changed the formula for when Dead or Alive 6 dropped, and that's That's where I really had it, because I could not stand it. It's abysmal what they did, because they've shown that they will continue this gravy train with season passes, and the first one going for 90,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for some costumes and some characters. But what's more cynical is the game is basically a slight ripoff of Dead or Alive 5 with some new additions here and there, and it still feels worse. And one of those additions is the how you unlock costumes, because you get a lot of new costumes, I gotta admit that, but most of them are color variants of each other, so maybe a third of your costumes are actual costumes and the rest are just some chromas, some additional colors. But the way you unlock them is stupid, really stupid, because usually in Dead or Alive 5 you just complete the story mode or arcade or time attack and you get a new costume. But here you have to grind for costume patterns, which is something you can get from clearing some missions or doing Dead or Alive quest, which is maybe the most efficient way to do it. But the thing is, it varies how much pattern parts you need depending on the costume, all from 200-300 to about 1,000, and it's all random. You don't know what costume you're unlocking, so you can't really be picky about it. And that sucks. They took a core mechanic and made it grindy for no apparent reason. Also, after you have unlocked it, you need to buy it with your Dead or Alive points that you earn throughout the game, and that's a double grind. That's just stupid. Okay, so for example here I'm playing a quest with Nico, the Finnish scientist nerd, I guess, with electricity coming from her hands. And if you do all the quests that you've seen in the bottom of the screen during the fight, you'll get the clear reward, which is which is costume pattern parts. And you see how they randomly distribute, and oh, okay, I unlocked one costume there, but yeah, it's all random, and yeah. Anyway, there are a lot of things I can nitpick on about how 6 is inferior to 5, such as the fact that they took out tag team and something about the optimization. I have no idea, because it really tags my setup if you play it on PC for no apparent reason. So yeah, but one thing that's more cynical and more typical AAA, if you're gonna go that way, coming from a publisher, is the fact how they distribute the DLC. Because Dead or Alive 5, even if it had a lot of DLC, you could choose to unlock it separately. So instead of buying it in a bulk, you can unlock it per character. So you can unlock the one skin from a certain pack per character. So you don't have to buy it all just to get it for your favorite character. That's not available in Dead or Alive 6 as of now. But you never know if it's gonna change or not, because they want to sell that season pass. They want to sell you a season pass for $90. That's a lot of money for something that's taking a trend in the wrong direction, in my opinion. And I've just pushed on some examples here and there on Street Fighter and Dead or Alive, but let's not forget that Street Fighter Cross Tekken and Blaze Blue Cross Tag held half of its roster at ransom. So you had to buy half of the characters in order to play them. And it feels like I'm part of the problem, because I bought those as well, but on the other hand, what choice did I have? Because they wouldn't let me get them other way, because they know they're not gonna change this, because they are assholes. There, I said it, they're assholes. They're in it for money. Don't believe anything else. Of course, it's an industry. They need to make money, but if you're an asshole about it, I'm gonna call you out for it. And there's a lot of discussions about DLC and microtransaction and what's right and wrong, and it's going way off the rails at this pace, and it's really worrying for how it's gonna turn out in the future, because it's more about looks and less about content. I mean, lesser game modes, lesser features that's featured in other games, and you don't even know if it's gonna be available as DLC as well later, or in the roadmap, because that's a thing as well. So yeah, it's looking pretty dark. Yeah, this was a really positive video. Yeah, it's not my kind of shtick, but yeah, I just wanted to vent it out, because it's such a shame. I was looking forward to Dead or Alive 6, and no, I'm not gonna get it. I just stick to Dead or Alive 5, please. Thank you, and hope it gets better. Maybe not in the future. So yeah, that's about it. Now go about your day and do something productive, like not buying a $90 season pass.